Hello, guys. Today I'm interviewing Owen Kirk. He is 2 wins, 0 draws, 1 defeat, and he's back out on the 16th of July, Saturday, the 16th of July, at the Bolton Whites Hotel.
That's the one. Back in the rematch.
Yes, with Jake
back in the rematch, Sam. Jake Bray, that's the man that's going to get it in July.
Yes. What are you going to do different this time around?
This time, well, the first time around, I thought I'd done enough to win the fight, and so does a lot of other people. The only person that I think thought I lost the fight was the referee, judging the fight. But listen, it is what it is now. It's behind me. So I'm, credit to Jake for taking the rematch. He didn't have to. So yeah, we're getting the rematch done. But what would I do differently? Put it on him even more this time than I did the first time, and try and keep myself intact. And from start to finish,
make it clear that you've won.
Of course. Yeah. Well, we had a little wobble in the first fight. I suffered a bit of an injury. I won't get into it too much because. I don't want people to think that I make excuses. Jake Bray won the first fight and we're getting it on again.
Yeah. Was that in the Winter's Gardens in Blackpool?
That's right, yeah. In the Winter Gardens in Blackpool, it's a great venue as well. Really, really nice venue to box in.
Yeah. Oh, so was that... I think the highlights were on YouTube.
That's right, yeah. The full fight's on YouTube, and I've put a little thing on my Instagram page, just with some fight highlights and whatnot.
Yeah, because I've seen them and I've seen the full fight as well.
And what did you think of the fight, Sam?
I thought maybe a draw would be fair. Maybe you I don't know. I think I wasn't surprised he got the nod. I think you should have made it more convincingly that you won. But
of course,
in the rematch, you're gonna put it right.
That's the plan, mate. Yeah, in the rematch, we're going to come out and, make people believe who the real winner is out of the two of us. Put that first fight behind us because, things went on and, we're just getting it on again.
Yeah. He's now 3 wins, 8 defeats. So he's picked up a few of these wins.
He's pulling it back, isn't he, old Jakey Bray? He's,
yeah.
Like I say, I've got, you know what boxing's like, Sam. You get people that do all the shit talking, and then you get the people that give out respect. And I can't give nothing but respect to Jake Bray and his team. His coach Jimmy as well. I've got nothing bad to say about it. The decision wasn't in their hands that night. They just turned up to fight, done their thing, and they ended up getting the nod. So yeah, the rematch is the rematch. We'll fight again, and there'll be a different winner this time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And he's going to have 9 losses on his record because I'm coming for him, Sam.
Yes, I'm sure he will. But I think this time he'll be definitely knowing he's apparent. Well, the referee says the referee's seen that, says he's beaten you. He'll be definitely coming to beat you again.
Of course. Well, he's not going to take this fight to sit down, is he? Funny enough, I was chatting with someone from our management earlier on in VIP boxing, and he's obviously going to, not only getting a defeat on me, he's beaten other guys since, I believe, and
yes, he has.
I think that was a rematch as well.
Paul Skate.
Was it Paul? That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that on YouTube a few days ago.
Looks like he's getting better, huh? It's going to be made for a good fight because I'm getting better as well.
Yeah. And then I think he beat another unbeaten fighter called Jack Roberts, was it?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I had a look on BoxRec at that fight, and that Jack Roberts, I don't think he's our weight. I think he's a few weights below. Because when you look on BoxRec, it says that he weighed in at less than 150 pounds. We fight at 160. So.
Because Jack's a lightweight.
That's what I mean. So them guys, there's a lot of weight difference. Unless Jake was maybe a late step in or whatever, I'm not too sure.
And you're super welter.
Well, yeah, they put me down as a super welterweight, which is actually 11 stone, 154 pounds. But until we get a few more fights under my belt, we fight at 160, so that's actually middleweight.
Oh, wait. So
Yeah.
Isn't that a weight above super welter?
Yeah, so it goes middleweight and then light middleweight, super welterweight, however you want to call it.
Yeah. Before you fought Jake Gray, because he made his debut last year. You made your debut last year against.
We actually made that. Sorry to interrupt you there, Sam. Funny you say that. We both made our debuts on the same show, and that's when he fought Johnny Boy. When Johnny Boy beat him back in September 2021 last year.
Yeah, Johnny.
That was on the same show.
Yes. Oh yes. No, yes, because that was at the Bolton White's Hotel as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. That's when you fought? Oh, I forgot his name now.
Josh Hodgkins. Yes.
Because I've seen
he was
him.
A tough man.
Yeah, I think he was something 0-4 at the time. No, he was 0-3 at the time you beat him.
That's right. Yes.
Yes. Ever since then, I've watched a few of his fights.
Yep.
And I mean, he's been in his last two fights. He's been stopped, but one of them was a faulty stoppage. Yeah,
well, I've actually got Josh on social media, and
really,
I think following his last two defeats, obviously by stoppage, I saw on Facebook that he's now retired from boxing.
Is he?
So so I just want to say, if he ever watches this, cheers for sharing it with me. It was a cracking experience for him, because I tell you one thing, Sam, he was a tough man. He came to fight. He could swallow a lot of punches, and he sure gave hell back.
Oh, I was gutted for him, because at the time, against Dale Flute, this kid who was making his debut in March, who he fought, that was he was beating him before the stoppage. He was boxing him at his head off.
Yeah, that's the thing with Josh Hodgkins. We did our research, obviously, as you do as a professional fighter.
Yeah.
If we can get a little eyesight in on who we're fighting, we'll watch as much footage as we can, just so we can adapt and get ready for what they have to bring. And we watched a lot of Josh Hodgkins, and he actually got stopped by Idris Virgo.
Yes, he did. Yes.
With that big left up to the body, and we were looking for that. And let me tell you, I hit him with some big punches to the body, but like you say, he's obviously learned from that, and he's toughened up his old core. Because let me tell you, when I hit him to the body a few times, Sam, he weren't going anywhere. So he was obviously doing his sit-ups in that training camp.
Yes, and then later you made your second fight against Danny Little.
That's right.
Another tough man.
Yeah, nearly 100 fights, I believe now. I think I was his 82nd fight or something like that.
Yes. Oh, he's had 88 fights.
Yeah.
Just up there.
He's had a lot.
And he's only been stopped eight times.
That shows you how tough he is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we went into that fight because originally we wasn't supposed to be fighting Danny Little. It was the day before that my opponent pulled out on the day of the weigh-in.
Who was the opponent?
I was meant to be fighting a guy called Josh Cook from Manchester.
Oh, yes. I've watched him on a few small hall shows. Yes. I know.
Yeah, he's got a bald head. I think he's got a bit of a beard, and he's quite tall and whatever. But we were supposed to be fighting him, and we was told we were fighting Josh Cook like 2-3 months before the show. So we prepared for him, and then when we got to the weigh-in, that's when my manager Steve Wood was like, "Look, there's something gone on, whatever caused him to pull out the fight." And then Danny Little thankfully stepped in, and when they told me I got Danny Little, I felt quite made up, because Danny Little's fought everybody, and Danny Little's he's a tough test if you let him be. And I thought, right, I could do a statement here, so I went out there and I boxed the ears off him, and I didn't even have to throw many power punches because I was just enjoying being in my groove, getting the rounds under my belt. Because early on in your boxing career, Sam, it's good knocking people over and whatnot. And listen, if a knockout comes, it comes. But one thing I learned with Danny Little is, even after the first round, I thought, I don't need to try and stop this guy. I'm boxing him where I want to keep him. And I was learning a lot in the ring. And because I was doing everything off my own, hurrah of skills, if you want to say, it gave me time to think and realise, I'm learning here. And then when he was throwing back, it was good.
Yeah. So did you enjoy that fight?
That fight was quite enjoyable, yeah. Because I think I gave him a lot to think about. Like Danny Little, listen, there's a lot of his fights on YouTube. He's fought some people I know. A good friend of mine in the boxing world, Casey Brown, beat him. Again, Casey gave boxer socks off of him, and it's like not many people can do what many have done with him and keep him long range, because he's quite short and he's tight and he's strong. So if he cuts your range off, then it can cause you all types of nightmares in a fight.
I've seen a few of his fights on YouTube.
Yeah, and I've seen him get dropped and get straight back up. Like, if you're going to stop Danny Little, you need to equip yourself with some bats and whatnot, because the man doesn't go down and stay down quite easily.
Yes, and so in the rematch against Jake Bray, are you confident?
I'm absolutely confident. The first fight, I thought I'd won it, like I'd said. Had a couple problems with injuries during the fight. Again, I won't go into it, but if I can in my mind, if I can give him a fight that's somewhat close with injuries at the present time, when I step into that ring in 6 weeks' time, fully fit, healthy, injury-free, I just believe it's going to be a one-sided fight, and that's what I'm confident in delivering on the night. Again, credit to Jake Bray's tough, but after that first fight, it sparked a different type of fire and motivation in my belly to come back and defeat him quite convincingly, whether that's a knockout or if I box the socks off of him.
Yes, hopefully you do manage to beat him. I'm sure you will.
Oh, it's coming home, Sam. He's going to get beaten in 6 weeks. There's no doubt in my mind, mate.
Yes.
That's what I wouldn't take the fight otherwise.
What's who else is fighting on that card? Because I haven't seen the undercard or anything.
Yeah, so they haven't actually officially announced it yet, because what VIP do is they'll probably announce it this coming week. But what I do know is that you've got Jack Flatley. I think he's headlining it. You know Jack Flatley?
Isn't he 17 wins, 2 defeats or something?
That's right. And in not his last fight, but the fight before, he fought on a Matchroom show.
Yes.
I think he fought for the European title, I think he was.
You did, yes, because I remember I watched that fight.
Yeah, and he's fought Troy Williamson. He got a draw against him. I'm pretty sure he drew against Troy Williamson, who's the current British Commonwealth or whatever he is.
I interviewed Troy.
Yes, and you know how good Troy is. And for Jack's, I've actually sparred Jack Flatley a few times, and he's a tough guy, very tough guy. He's he carries his experience through from the amateurs. He's had a handful of fights as a pro. He's good. He's tough.
Yeah.
So going back to the original question. So he's top of the bill, and he comes from a gym in Bolton called Elite Boxing. Alex Matvienko, I think that's how you say his second name. So that's like his gym with Phil and some of the other trainers, and they've got quite a big stable. And with it being in Bolton, VIP and the Elite Gym have done they come to ties and done a co-promotion show, if you want to say.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few guys from that gym fighting. So and I've fought on some of the shows with them guys before, and they're good. Definitely guaranteed some knockouts, mate.
Hopefully is your rematch with Jake Bray 6 rounds?
No, it's over 4. But I asked them for 6 rounds and it never ended up happening. But it doesn't matter, because one punch can change it all, and if that comes in the first round or the 6th round, it doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. Are you a big ticket seller? Do you sell your tickets?
Yeah, so I sell all my own tickets. So, when we get a fight date from VIP Boxing, they basically, they go away, they print all the tickets off and whatnot. And yeah, they give me the tickets. I do all right with my tickets, to be fair. My first fight, I did like, what was it now? I did my first fight, probably 200 plus tickets. Second fight, I did about 150. And then in that fight against Jake Bray, I did about 150 again, I think it was. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you the exact number, but yeah, quite a few.
I think you announced the rematch 3 days ago, was it, on your social media?
That's right, yeah. Something like that. It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. So have you got many people saying they want tickets?
It's funny you say that, yeah. So following the first fight with Jake Bray, Sam, obviously I put my stuff on social media, congratulating him and his team. And just telling everyone about bounce back and stay in the gym and whatever. And the response on my social media following the defeat was better than the response I received from the 2 victories I had previous to that. So it's crazy, when people watch the fight back and they saw it was a good fight, because it was definitely fight of the night. It was one of them like old school fights. I'd throw a load of punches at him, he'd throw a load of punches back, and I think it's got quite a few people excited. And my social media following a loss was a lot. I weren't expecting it, to be fair, and it's got people interested because they want to see the fight again. So Bolton's going to be packed out in 6 weeks, mate. All the people from Morecambe will get behind me, and we'll be packing it out and bringing that win back on.
Yeah. So do you think Jake Bray will bring some fans?
It's possible. I think he'll bring some people, most likely. Yeah, I think people get the boxing world mixed up, right? So Jake Bray, people think that he's like your typical journeyman, as if you call. So these guys that just go on the road, they fight, and they take more losses than they do defeats. But I think what Jake Bray's situation is, because boxing at today's day and age, it doesn't matter how good you are. When you turn pro, you need to be able to sell tickets. And I think Jake Bray wasn't quite there with selling tickets at the start of his career. So he had to do it the hard way. And I think he's just gone on the road, fought top prospects like Johnny Boy, like me, like all the other guys he's fought, and he's won some, he's lost some, as you can tell by his record. And now he's had a few fights. I think he's starting to build a bit of a profile, and he's getting interest in his hometown. So, like you say, his last fight was in Doncaster in that rematch against Paul Scarf, and he won. So again, his stock's probably grown. He's probably going to bring some, but I don't think he'll be outnumbering my lot from Morecambe, mate. There's no way. Them guys bring the noise, and they bring it in bus loads as well.
Yeah. So because I watched that Jake Bray fight, as I was telling you earlier, because there was, I think, out of the night, that fight night, I think he had, when I was looking, I think he had like 50, maybe 60, quite a few actually. Yeah,
so it's more than enough people to give you a bit of a push and a bit of motivation on the night, because he's done it. He's done it the hard way. He's gone on the road, like I've just explained there. So he's used to walking in there with nobody in there. So do you know what it is, Sam? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, when you're in that ring in the middle of that venue, which will be Bolton, when all them lights are shining and everybody climbs out the ring, it's just me and him facing at each other, waiting for that bell to ring. And then as soon as that bell rings, we run at each other and start knocking hell out of each other. So them 100 and odd people I bring to 260 people, that's irrelevant, mate. When the fight's on, it's on. They just bring the noise and the support.
Yeah. Like, before you walk out in front of all the fans, do you get like nervous?
It's a weird one. So I get nervous, of course. If you don't get nervous, then I think that's a problem. And I think not being nervous could be a negative, because you don't know what you're walking into. It's a fight, but you can't predict how it's going to go. And boxing's an ugly sport; it can end, quite bad sometimes. Yeah. And I get nervous, but like, excuse me, it's, I believe there's different types of nerves, and there's a nervous where you're scared, and there's a nervous when you're excited because it's what you want to do. And I'm never scared before a fight, because, if you get scared, then I think, why should you be there? I know exactly what I'm in for, and I always expect an hard night. It's more of like an excited nerves. Like, you get your butterflies, you get nervous, but it's more like eagerness. You can't wait for the guy to shout your name, and then you start making you walk. And that's it. It's excitement more than anything.
Yeah. Are you walking out second because like he got the win last time? So would you be walking out first?
I'll probably find out on the night, to be honest with you, whether I walk first or second, Sam. You know, in the usual boxing world, because he's beat me on paper the first time, you think he'd walk second, but I really don't care, mate. If I walk first, second, or, you know, you can get everyone else in there first and then me, I'm not bothered. It's only a walk. You always see on social media at the high end, like of professional boxing, there's too much crap go on. I don't care. As long as they say the fight's happening and then we both turn up on the night, we're both in that ring just before that bell rings, that's all I'm happy with.
That's all that really matters.
That's it, you know. So I'm not one to be fussing, Sam. Like I say, I'm not interested. I'll walk first, I'll walk second. It doesn't matter because that bell will ring at the same time. And yeah, the fight will be happening when that bell rings. And yeah, exciting, mate. I'll happily walk first. I actually put a tweet out the other week after following his last victory against Paul Scaife. I actually said I'd happily come to Doncaster, his hometown, to fight him. I'd love to do that, but it
Has
happens.
he replied to the tweet?
Say that again, mate.
Has he replied to the tweet?
No, I don't think he's actually. I put it on Twitter, that one, but I don't. It weren't like a nasty tweet. I was just saying putting it out there. Congratulations. Let's get this rematch on since you've just had one. And I said, if you want to, we can do it in Doncaster, but I don't think there's any more shows in Doncaster anytime soon under VIP. So Bolton's where it's going to go down.
Well, it doesn't matter what the venue is. You're just going to beat him.
No. A boxing ring's a boxing ring, mate. And most boxers will be able to relate to this if they're watching and they hear me say this. There's a thing called tunnel vision. And when you're really switched on, like when it's on the night, you know, you can be switched on in the gym, you can be switched on in training camp. But when you're in that boxing ring, you know, my dad's in my corner, I give my dad a hug. You know, he jumps out the ring. And then when I'm looking over there at Jake Bray and the referee's there, it's like nothing outside of that ring exists other than that man over there in the other corner.
So do you not after your fights, after the defeat, did you go and see your fans afterwards?
So I usually do go and see all my supporters, yeah. But because I'd damaged my hand in the fight, there's a protocol to boxing. The first thing you've got to do when you get out of the ring is go and see the medical, like the doctors, the medical professionals, what I'm going to call them.
Yeah.
That's a must. Whether you win, lose, draw, injury or injury free, you have to go and it's all paperwork stuff. And you know, I went backstage and I declared that I felt like there was a problem with my hand. You know, he examined it thoroughly backstage and he basically went, "You need to go to hospital, mate." So I had to pack my bags and go to hospital that night and get my hand fixed up.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I couldn't get back out to see all my supporters. I had to, by the time I was done with the doctor, I had to, get straight to hospital. And it was a Friday night, sorry. So, you know what the hospitals are like on the weekends, mate. Too busy. So we had to get there as early as we could.
Yeah. And my final question for you is, do you have any advice for people who want to be a boxer when they're older?
Yeah, of course. Boxing. Well, how old are you, Sam?
12.
12, right? So I started boxing when I was 11, so not far off what you are now, right? Yeah. And I'm 23 now, so that's 12 years I've been doing boxing. Boxing's a sport where you can't do it 50%, and I'm not saying to all the kids you need to live the life like a professional, because living like a professional is hard, but as long as you don't take the wrong path and stuff, because the common thing in this day and age is when kids get to 15, 16, they're going out drinking, they're going out doing all the other stuff. And if you can fall into all that with your friends, then it's a downward slope from there. And I managed to avoid that. And that's why I've got where I am today. And I'm still early on in my career. So, I've still got a long way to go myself. But from starting to where I am now, Sam, just advice would be to people, enjoy it, surround yourself with good people that make you laugh, that make you want to be there. And just, have that sponge mentality where never think you know everything and never think, oh, I already know that. Always listen to your coaches and, because they are there to help you out.
Yes. And do you want to shout out like your sponsors or your manager or anyone?
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll shout out some of my sponsors and I'll give them a shout. So I've got my main sponsor, so they're based in Bristol. So they're an audio-visual installation company and they work nationwide in the UK. They've been with me from the absolute beginning, through the 2 wins, through the defeat, through the rematch, up and coming and moving forward. You know, they're great guys down there in Bristol, and I'm very lucky to have them on board. And as you see, always on my shorts, my t-shirts, I've always got them there. So that's avpi.co.uk. You can check them out there. I've got some other sponsors. I've got my DM Aesthetics. That's actually a family that's wanted to jump on board and sponsor me. But again, it's always appreciated because it helps out. You've got my friend who's got a scaffolding company, Secure Scaffolding. You've got them. Got some new guys. They're called Full Proxy. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who I've got. I've got a few. Yeah, you check out my social media. I'm always shouting them out. You know, there's a place in Lancaster called Reset. They do my recovery and whatnot. They've helped me out since turning pro. So yeah, but my main focus is just to win this fight, mate. And without them sponsors, it's hard. So them guys make things a lot easier and take a lot of pressure off, because you know boxing's hard work and it needs full discipline and concentration.
And yeah, the main thing is that you get the job done on the night.
Of course, that's why I'm training. I'm starting the gym now. So there'll be a session. I'm just in the gym there at home. So once I've come off this Zoom call with you, mate, that's it. Getting straight in the gym, and I'll be thinking about beating Jake Bray's ass on July 16th.
Hope so, mate. And hopefully I can come and support you to your big win.
Of course, mate. You just drop me a message, mate, and we'll get something sorted out. And then if you bring your camera along after I've kicked his ass, we can do an interview in person, eh?
Yeah. Thank you for your time, mate, yeah?
Anytime, mate. You keep doing your thing. I've been keeping my eye on it, and you're doing good, mate. So you keep doing what you're doing, chasing it all.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, take it easy, brother.
Bye, mate.